when Pluto touched down in Aquarius, this is the house that it will be in. It's going to be in the fourth house. And the fourth house is your home, family, and psychological roots. On the soul level, it's transforming your karma, which is inherited and learned behavior and conditioning. The fourth house, of course, has to do with our conditioning from our family and, of course, from society. With Pluto in the fourth house, we're going to expect change in your home and family. And this will cause you to have a more sense. Of course, it's like when you move out of your parents' house, you kind of get a more sense of freedom, a more sense of yourself. And on some levels, it might happen physically. But if you're reading the energies, it's kind of saying to move away from your conditioning socially. I think that's been happening a lot, especially since 2020, where I think a lot of people have had the time to kind of sit down and think. And a lot of people are realizing that we're conditioned in a certain way. And we all need to take a move away from that. And that's really going and searching within yourself psychologically. There should be transformation around family or ideas of family and belonging. The theme here is, or the lesson here is, that your home is where, or your home is within your conscious awareness. Of course, you have your subconscious, but again, your home is in your consciousness, and that's wherever it goes, wherever you are. So I think thinking like that is like, now we don't think on a selfish level, and when we think on a selfish level, then we only think, about our families. Now we could, especially Pluto in Aquarius, it's going to raise our awareness towards, I'm here in New York, where's my awareness towards people in Chicago, raise my awareness towards people in Africa, raise my awareness towards people in Europe, raise my awareness towards people in China. How are those people living? How are those people, surviving? And not just to think, the old way of thinking, like they're over there, let their country solve that, knowing that, your root, you kind of like taking a step away from your family. This is what Pluto in the fourth house is vibrating. So transforming your roots, that's the idea of the fourth house. Familial and ancestral conditioning. Pluto here is uprooting and exposing negative patterns of conditioning that were inherited from our family and ancestral lineage. So the outdated patterns and behaviors and conditioning are being uprooted and illuminated so that a healthier and more appropriate root can be planted or set down, which supports you moving forward as a awakened spiritual being. So an awakened spiritual being, which is a lot. I mean that you do away with all your family traditions. It's just the ones that are negative, and save the ones that are positive, the ones that serve, yourself and serve your community and serve the world. The ones that don't serve yourself, because some of them are destructive. Some of us are getting over generational traumas. That's why a lot of us are in, a lot of the topics on this planet, on this app, is about relationships. And of course, the first relationship we have is with our parents. When we're talking about Pluto in the fourth house, we're talking about transforming those negative aspects of ourselves. And whether or not you're a man or a woman, because I know a lot of, the women on this app come on here, and some of them, it is a lot of blamey, like the men this and the men that, and there's no accountability. I don't want to say victim blaming or victim shaming, but there has to be accountability on our parts as women for the choices that we make. And this is why I love Shira. I want to talk about her all the time, but this is what I love about her, is like, she doesn't talk about, men this, men that. She talks about what you can do and how you can improve yourself as a woman. She doesn't blame men, and she doesn't blame you. She just kind of says, you know, if you gotta be in charge of your emotions. It's one of the most realist things that she said, and I totally agree with that. But in this aspect, you know, of course, talking about relationships is transforming your relationships or transforming your relationships with your parents, or seeking to, you know, understand those relationships that you had with your parents, so that way we could all have better relationships with each other, because it's all from, you know, we just didn't come into this world and create it. It's all from the conditionings that we've had as men and as women on this planet. That's more or less it. Pluto in the fourth house. Make sure you like and follow, and ciao.